Ahoy there fellow pirates, this year's video is a review of Sea of Thieves Season 15. Yes, that's right, another expansion to the deep and vibrant world of Rare's pirate adventure game is here. So what's new? Megalodons, fish, a hunter's call levelling system, an emissary flag, and soon, pigs but bigger. Yes, in classic Sea of Thieves fashion, they've added a bunch of things that were already in the game. That being said, I've actually been enjoying this update because, as I've been saying for a long time, the best updates are the ones which drive player interaction. And nothing says player interaction quite like pulling up on a solo sloop that's been struggling against a red maw for half an hour and making them cry themselves to sleep. I've been having a good time battling these new Megalodons, though let's be real, that might just be because they're easier than hourglass fights. I'd forgotten what it was like to PvP without needing to pop a blood pressure pill first. But, of course, it's not all smooth sailing. Let's talk about the fiery red maw, aka the big red, annoying prick. This thing is aggressive. The constant attacks, the endless fire, the sheer disrespect. It's like fighting the physical embodiment of the Devil's Roar back when the volcano asteroids would target your ship. It's not actually a particularly difficult fight on its own, it just takes a long time with the amount of repairs that need to happen. Also, good luck trying to fish up any loot mid-fight. You've got time to reel in about 2 things before you get bashed far away from whatever you're trying to harpoon. And if you end up in a PvP fight whilst battling this thing, you'd best hope for good luck, because being under attack from a player whilst suffering red maw damage and fire is a recipe for disaster. Especially if you have one of those crewmates that, always wants to play the hero and doesn't just stay on the ship. Speaking of which, I actually had the pleasure of being interrupted by this Meg during an hourglass fight. Fortunately, it attacked the other crew who deserved it because they were cheating. More on that later. The other Meg, the one with armour, is easier but not necessarily more interesting. Its whole gimmick is effectively that it takes more hits to kill. Truly riveting design. That said, I do love when it launches my ship into a big corkscrew. Now, here's the real crime. These Megalodons don't drop Hunter's Call loot, which is wild things, considering they're tied to the Hunter's Call emissary. Imagine grinding for hours, slaying a massive sea beast, and getting rewarded with a coral chest. The logic is truly staggering. Anyway, let's talk about the Hunter's Call voyages. Fishing and raids. The raids? More of the same, except the loot at the end is slightly different. I find it weird that this is the only way to get the new loot, given that it seems crucial for commendations. Maybe. Hear me out. Mix. Maybe they could drop some of it. Crazy. I know it's an insane idea, but maybe it would be worth putting that loot inside the Meg's bellies. The fishing voyages are actually kind of chill. There's something oddly satisfying about watching a lifeless fish bob on the water's surface. That said, seeing stormfish outside of storms and battle gills away from the fights feels a bit off. Also, could it be a little bit confusing for new players to have 2 different fishing systems? And in case you were wondering, yes, I am still trying to get full completion in Sea of Thieves. And yes, it's mostly just an hourglass grind at this point. I can feel my soul leaving my body to not even be replaced with skill, just a malice and a strange feeling that I'm wasting away the best years of my life. On to other improvements. Some say performance has gotten better. I haven't really noticed, but then again, I always play at 60 FPS, and I've heard the game may run a little bit worse on the higher frame rates. Or maybe my rig is just built different. What I have noticed is that the cheating problem has gotten worse. Look, if you need to hack to win in Sea of Thieves, you should consider putting that effort into actual skill development, because imagine cheating and still losing. That's got to be humiliated. Why even put yourself through that? All in all, I think this is a pretty solid update. Long-time players like me are usually hard to impress, but Sea of Thieves is still one of the most unique and ridiculously fun games out there. Some, look, I don't use this word lightly, buccaneers, love to say the game is dying, but let's be real, it's been dying for 6 years now. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have 1,000 nautical miles to sail on Hunter's Call voyages. Safe voyages, everyone.